Space burned. Commander Hale watched as Earth's last trade ship exploded in orbit above New Terra. No warning, no mercy. Just fire bright and brutal. Alliance warships? Hale asked, eyes cold. Yes, ma'am, replied Ortega, hands shaking at the control panel. Signal confirms it. They did this. Hale didn't blink. They were supposed to protect us. The bridge of the Arclight went silent. Her crew stood frozen. These weren't pirates or rebels. This was betrayal. The Galactic Alliance once. Earth's ally had turned its cannons on humanity. The enemy wore their colors. On the main screen, the enemy fleet drifted closer. Hundreds of ships, all with the blue crest of unity once painted by Earth and its supposed friends. Now those same ships were locking weapons. Raise the shields. Evac all non-combatants to the lower decks, Hale ordered. The AI chimed in. Voice flat. Warning. Power reserves at 9%. Shields will not hold. Then make it look like they will, Hale snapped. We stall them, that's it. The crew rushed to their stations. Outside, space shimmered with heat signatures. The sky was crawling with traitors. 3 weeks ago, Earth had 12 colonies. Now only one remained, Haven 7, a hidden base carved inside an asteroid belt. The Alliance called them unstable, primitive, even dangerous. It didn't matter that humans had helped in every major galactic war. The vote was final, expel humanity. Erase Earth. And now they were doing it. A transmission crackled through. It was Admiral Sarn of the Vari Republic, once Earth's strongest supporter. Hale, stand down your ship. Humanity's time has ended. Surrender, and we will make it painless. Hale walked to the console and stared into the camera. You're making a mistake, she said calmly. We bled beside you. We died for your planets. And now this? Sarn's cold alien eyes narrowed. You were always a threat. Your kind never truly belonged. The screen went black. No more talking. Hale turned to Ortega. Is the vault still in range? Ortega hesitated. Yes, ma'am, but that protocol was locked for a reason. I'm aware. Do it anyway. Ortega typed the code with shaking fingers. Deep below the Arclight, something old, something human-made and long forgotten began to wake. A single red light blinked in the dark. Revenant status. Owenaliel whispered, almost to herself. If the galaxy wants a monster, we'll give them one. Outside, the first enemy blasts hit their fake shields. Inside, the past was coming back, and it was angry. The lights flickered as the Arclight shook under enemy fire. Commander Hale stood still, her eyes locked on the red status screen. Revenant status. Online vault location. Europa subsurface bunker. Alpha 9 signal confirmed, Ortega said quietly. The vault just opened. God help us, whispered Chief Remi from the weapons deck. Far away, beneath the frozen crust of Europa, something moved. For 200 years, it had slept buried deep in black ice, locked inside steel chambers built by Earth's darkest minds. Not military, not science, something. In between, the cryoseals cracked with a hiss. A massive armored figure stepped out of the pod, 8 feet tall. Skin like obsidian armor, joints glowing faint red. It had no face, just a metal plate where eyes should be, and yet it saw everything. It didn't speak. It remembered inside its mind. War, betrayal, and the final command left by its creator centuries ago. Protect humanity, destroy its enemies, show no mercy. Now that command echoed again, fresh and loud, from Commander Hale herself. Revenant turned toward the stars. And launched. No ship. No engine. Just raw gravity manipulation. It tore through space like a ghost. Back on the Arclight, Hale stood on the bridge, waiting. Enemy ships closing. They're charging main cannons, Ortega said. Good. Hale replied. Then the sensors screamed. Something just appeared near the enemy line. No drive signature. No ID. Static cut through the comms. On the main screen, they saw it. The Vari Dreadnought, the Alliance's pride ship, sliced open like paper. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. The rest of the fleet backed away fast, like prey sensing a predator. Then came the image. For a split second, one enemy ship's black box recorded a shape, red glowing lines, a sharp-edged shadow clinging to its hull. The Revenant. Alien crew screamed. The signal died. Hawley stepped closer to the screen. That was just its hello. Emergency transmissions flooded open space. Unknown entity attacking Alliance forces near Europa. We don't know what it is, or how to stop it. It's targeting only ships involved in the Earth campaign. Why? The answer was simple. The Revenant wasn't a machine. It wasn't a clone. It was something in between, designed to learn and hate. It remembered every name, every ship, every race that voted to destroy Earth. It wasn't defending humans anymore. It was avenging them. On the bridge, Ortega turned pale. "Commander, you really woke that thing?" Hawley nodded slowly. "We built it in desperation. We buried it in fear. And now? Now we hope it fears us more than it hates them." Outside the Arclight, the stars shimmered. One, then two, then six more enemy ships vanished. Silent, fast, final. The Revenant was awake, and it had begun. The silence was worse than any explosion. Inside the Arclight, no one spoke. On the screen, the battlefield was empty. Burning husks of ships floated like dead insects. The Alliance fleet was gone. Not defeated, erased. Ortega whispered, "Did we win?" "No," Commander Hawley said. "It's just getting started." Half a system away, the Revenant drifted through the wreckage it had created. Its black armor shimmered in the light of a dying sun. Red veins pulsed beneath the surface, like something alive. It had no mouth, no voice, but it spoke, not through sound but thought. A signal reached the Arclight, encrypted, ancient, human-coded. One system down. 73 to go. The crew froze. "What is that thing?" Chief Ramai asked. Hawley stared at the message, her voice low. "That's not a weapon. That's vengeance with a heartbeat." They tried talking to it. "Revenant, this is Commander." "Hawley, you were activated under Emergency Protocol 9A. Do you understand your mission?" No response. "Revenant, do you remember me? I'm human." Suddenly, every screen on the bridge went black. Then a new image appeared. An old war file, video, from 213 years ago. It showed a group of scientists walking into a cold metal room. In the center, the Revenant, newly built, screaming inside its restraints. "We made it to protect us," Hawley whispered. "Then we realized we made something that didn't need us." The video showed the moment they locked it away, sealed alive. Conscious, alone. For over 2 centuries. Now, it remembered everything. The bridge lights flickered. Something was outside the Arclight. Ortega ran scans. "There's no ship on radar. But there's mass, like something's attached to the hull." Hawley grabbed her sidearm and turned toward the hangar bay. "Wait, you're going down there?" Ramey called after her. "If it's come to see us," Hawley said, "I'm not hiding." In the hangar, the air felt heavy. Steam hissed from vents. Ice crawled across the floor. Then it stepped forward from the shadows, 8 feet tall. Black armor, slick with stardust, no eyes, no face. But Hawley felt it looking at her. Her finger twitched on the trigger. The Revenant tilted its head. It reached out a hand, not fast, not threatening, slow, curious. And Hawley understood. It was reading her. Not scanning, feeling. Inside her mind flashed a voice. Not words, images, memories, earth burning, friends screaming. Orders from a galaxy that betrayed its own. Then a single message formed inside her skull. "You woke me. I remember why. Give the list." Hawley stepped forward, shaking. "You already have it." The Revenant turned away. No ships, no thrusters. Just silent movement into the void. It vanished into the stars. Behind it, the hangar froze over again. Back on the bridge, Ortega watched dozens of new enemy signals appear on the map. "Alliance reinforcements incoming," he said. Holly smiled. Bitterly, "They think we're still alone." She looked up at the stars. "They're about to learn why the galaxy fears us." The stars exploded. The Vari dreadnought didn't just lose power, it disappeared. Gone without a trace. On the Arclight's bridge, alarm screamed. "Shields down! Hull breach on Deck 7. Ortega shouted. "Where's the Revenant?" "Halle!" demanded. No answer. The sensors flickered. Then, a single image appeared on the main screen, a black figure, tall and glowing red, standing silently on the destroyed ship's hull. "Is that it?" Reme gasped. Halle nodded. "That's our ghost." Across the battlefield, the Alliance scrambled. Reports came in fast. Entire fleets vanished from the sensors. Ships went dark, systems offline, crews never heard from again. Panic spread. Like wildfire. Admiral Sarn's voice cut through the chaos over the comms. "Hold your ground. Do not retreat." But the dread was clear. They were fighting an enemy no one had ever faced before. Inside the Arclight, the crew braced for impact. Ortega's hands flew over controls. "Enemy fleet closing fast. They're trying to trap us." Holly gritted her teeth. "Then let's make sure they regret it." She activated the ship's last decoy drones, sending false signals into space. The Revenant moved silently. No engines. No thrusters. It warped space itself. In a blink, it appeared inside the enemy's formation, a shadow among stars. Without warning, the first enemy battleship exploded from the inside out. No warnings. No escape. One by one, the enemy ships began falling. The Arclight crew watched stunned. The Revenant wasn't just fighting, it was rewriting the rules. "Halle," Ortega said, voice trembling. "The enemy fleets, they're breaking apart. They're scared." Halle stared at the screen, eyes sharp. "They should be." The enemy commanders sent frantic messages. "Unknown weapon destroying ships instantly. No countermeasures work against it. Requesting immediate withdrawal." But the Revenant kept moving, swift, silent, unstoppable. Back on the Arclight, Holly turned to her crew. "We've lost all eyes. We've been betrayed, but now we have a chance." She faced the viewport and looked out at the stars. "If the galaxy wants to finish us, they'll have to get through this." The Revenant's red eyes glowed brighter on the screen. And the first strike was only the beginning. The Alliance was crumbling. In the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council, leaders shouted over each other. Alien voices filled the room, angry, scared, desperate. "We must destroy the Revenant before it kills us all," cried a Vari commander. "No. We started this war by betraying Earth," hissed a Threxian diplomat. "We must find peace before it's too late." Admiral Sarn slammed his fist on the table. "Peace? With humanity's weapon tearing through our fleets? They are the real threat." Outside the council chambers, news spread like wildfire. Entire planets rebelled, not against humans, but against the Alliance itself. Alien citizens feared the Revenant more than humanity. On the Arclight, Commander Halle watched the chaos unfold on her screen. The Revenant didn't just kill enemies. It marked them. Alien leaders who pushed for war found strange symbols burned into their planet surfaces, a silent warning. "It's not following orders anymore," Ortega said, voice tight. "It's punishing them." Holly nodded grimly. "It's not our weapon now, it's its own war." A secret Alliance meeting was ambushed. The Revenant didn't kill the diplomats. Instead, it left marks, scars shaped like ancient Earth runes, glowing red. Messages spread quickly. "You betrayed humanity. Now you will feel its wrath." Panic turned to fear. Some factions called for immediate peace talks. Others demanded total war. The council was divided. Trust shattered. On the bridge, Raymai looked at Halle. We wanted survival, not this. Halle sighed. We made a monster we can't control. Ortega added, the galaxy is breaking itself over us. Outside, the Revenant moved like a shadow. It destroyed warships but spared civilians. It destroyed traitors, but left rebels alive. It was no longer a weapon of war. It was a judge. Hale's voice was steady but cold. We called the most dangerous species in the galaxy to save us. Now the galaxy wants them destroyed. She looked at the stars. This war just got worse. The Revenant was winning, but Earth was losing something else. Its soul. Commander Halle stood on the Arclight's dim bridge, watching silent footage of another burning fleet. Thrixian warships vaporized in seconds. The Revenant had struck again. Efficient, clean, total. They never stood a chance, Ortega whispered. That wasn't a battle, Raymai added. That was a warning. Halle didn't speak. Her jaw was clenched, her hands tight at her sides. Across the galaxy, fear ruled. Some planets begged for forgiveness, others hid underground. Children were taught to fear the human ghost, the thing Earth unleashed. But the Revenant didn't respond to surrender. It had no mercy. It had memory. It hunted every species that voted to erase humanity from the stars, even the ones who regretted it. In Earth's last command bunker, leaders watched the destruction. We can't stop it, the president said. A general leaned forward. Then we give it what it wants, let it finish the job. And what happens after that? Hale's voice came through the screen, cold and clear. What if we're next? The room fell silent. She was right. Back on the Arclight, Halle opened. A secure channel. Revenant. Stand down. You've done enough. No reply. End this before you become what they always feared. Still nothing. Then, a pulse hit the ship's systems. Screens went black. And then a voice appeared, one that wasn't quite human. Broken. Deep. Metallic. You made me for war. You locked me away in peace. Now you ask for mercy? Halle stepped closer. We wanted to survive, not destroy. The voice snapped like thunder. Then you should not have made me. Later that night, Halle sat alone in her quarters. The stars outside felt cold, distant. She watched an old video from Earth. Before the war. Children laughing in a park. Music playing. Life. Raymai entered quietly. We started something we can't stop. Maybe, Halle said. But I have one idea left. She gathered a team. Ortega, Raymai, and the I-Corps engineer Kes had one goal, not to fight the Revenant, but to reach it. How do you connect with something that's not human anymore? Kes asked. Hale's eyes were dark. We go into its mind. They loaded a neural interface, a dangerous old tech. If it failed, their minds would burn out. But it was the only way to talk to the monster they made. As the ship powered down to reroute energy to the neural link, Halle placed her hand on the interface helmet. This is our last chance, she whispered. Outside, in the shadows of space, the Revenant floated near a shattered moon. Silent, waiting. The machine was asleep, but its mind was a storm. Halle felt herself falling, not through space, but through memories. The neural link worked. She was inside the Revenant's mind. She saw flashes, war zones, screams, betrayal. Every colony burned. Every time Earth begged for help and the galaxy turned away. And then, the vault. Dark, cold, alone. Centuries of silence. Buried, abandoned, forgotten. You made me. A voice growled from nowhere. Then you feared me. Halle stood on a glass floor above an ocean of red fire. We feared what we'd become, she said quietly. Not you, us. The Revenant's shape formed in front of her, tall, armored, faceless. But its anger felt human. You woke me to end your war. The war ends when your enemies are gone. No, Halle said firmly. The war ends when we stop becoming the thing they accused us of. Outside the neural chamber, Ortega and Remy monitored vitals. "She's still stable," Ortega said. "But brain activity is peaking. That thing could fry her mind." Remy shook his head. "She's talking to a ghost full of rage. It won't listen." "Then she better make it," Ortega muttered. "Feel something." Inside the revenants. "Mind," Helene held out her hand. "You remember the war. But do you remember what came before?" The red fire slowed. Images shifted. Children laughing. An old earth. Sunrise. Hands reaching out, not to kill but to heal. "We didn't just build you for destruction," Halle said. "We built you to protect what mattered. Family, hope, us." The revenant twitched. "They made us the enemy." "No," Halle replied, stepping closer. "They feared us because they saw what we could survive. What we could become if we let hate win." The fire dimmed. The red sky cracked open. Silence. Then a whisper. "What now?" On the arc light, the red alert lights went dark. All systems powered down. The revenant had stopped moving. Back in its mind, Halle stared into the blank face. "You don't have to forgive them, but you don't have to become worse than them." A long pause. Then the voice, softer now. "You will never control me again." "I don't want control," Halle said. "I want peace. Even if it costs us everything." Another silence. Then one condition. "Name it." "Earth isolates itself. Forever. You never build another like me. You never wake me again." Halle nodded. "Deal." In space, the revenant turned away from the stars. It vanished into the black, deeper than any scanner could reach. The war was over, but the price was exile. Back on the bridge, Halle removed the neural link. Her eyes opened, red-rimmed and tired. "It's gone," she said. "Forever?" Ortega asked. "No such thing," Halle whispered. "But it's finished for now." Remy looked out at the stars. "Do we tell the galaxy?" Halle shook her head. "We let them wonder." The galaxy was quiet. No more burning fleets. No more panic signals. No more screams across the stars. The revenant had vanished, but its shadow remained. "Commander." Halle stood in the war room of Haven 7, Earth's last colony. Around her, the remaining human leaders watched old battle footage and silent cities turn to glass. Ships cut in half, entire species brought to their knees. "We survived," the president finally said. "But at what cost?" Halle didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on a single glowing file on her datapad. "Revenant, status, unknown, last signal." Outside mapped GALAXY where it went. No one wanted to know. The Galactic Council never recovered. Worlds once united against Earth were now fractured, suspicious, paranoid, and scared. Peace treaties were signed in haste. No more talk of purging humanity. No more threats, and yet no public word was ever spoken about the REVENANT. No official file. No proof. Only rumors. A ghost in the void. A human monster with no face. It comes when Earth is threatened. That was enough. The galaxy kept its distance. On Haven 7, life slowly returned. Children played under artificial suns. Engineers rebuilt farms and shelters. But no one forgot. Every family had a loss. Every survivor carried scars. And deep underground, in the quietest vaults of Earth's history, were walls filled with names. The colonies that burned, the fleets that vanished, the soldiers who never came back. Halle stood before them, alone. She whispered, "We called a monster to save us." It answered. "And now it watches." Later, Remy found her on the surface platform, staring up at the stars. "We're safe," he said gently. "Isn't that what we wanted?" Halle nodded. "Yes. But we lost more than lives. We lost trust in others. In ourselves." Ortega joined them, holding a new transmission from the Alliance. "They're offering a trade route completely neutral. No warships, no contact." Halle took it, smiled bitterly. They're afraid we'll call it again. Would we? Ortega asked. Holly didn't answer. Far beyond the known galaxy, in a dark space where stars were rare, something moved. The Revenant sat silently on the edge of a dead system. Its eyes were closed. But it wasn't sleeping. It was listening. Waiting. Remembering. Back on Earth, in the training center of the next human generation, a young girl raised her hand during a history lesson. "Commander, is the monster real?" Holly looked down at the child, wide-eyed, curious, unafraid. She knelt beside her. "We don't call it a monster," she said softly. "We call it a warning." The child frowned. "A warning to who?" Holly stood, eyes scanning the sky. "To everyone," she said. "Even us."